Faye never brought it up because Wilbur had never mentioned it as well. Knowing what to say and not say at the right time was the best quality one could have as a subordinate, friend, or even lover. Faye smiled at Wilbur's words.
Sea Lake Island's worth at least $500 million. That's a pretty sweet deal you got there.
Well, it came as a surprise. I wasn't expecting anything, Wilbur said with a smile. It was only then that Faye finally stopped worrying. The two of them chatted as they finished off the food before Faye went to do the dishes. Wilbur sat on the couch and lit a cigarette. He stared at Faye's back in the kitchen, lost in his own thoughts. Soon Faye finished tidying up and came to the living room. Just as she was about to sit down, she slipped and fell down in Wilbur's direction.
Oops.
Faye cried out, falling onto Wilbur. Wilbur was startled for a moment before reaching out to pull one of Faye's arms so that she was seated back on the couch. Faye sat down, her hands on her chest as she panted.
That was scary.
The front of her dress slipped down as she shook, showing off her cleavage. Her panting only made things worse, and Wilbur had to struggle to keep his mind from wandering. I'm going to bed. You should get some rest too. Wilbur fled after saying the words. Faye's expression was one of agony as she saw Wilbur leave, mumbling to herself.
I was going to have you for dessert, you coward.
The next morning, Faye woke up and got ready before heading to the living room. Wilbur was nowhere to be seen. She sighed, then got into her car and drove to work. Just as she had gotten to her office, she got a call from Timothy. The two of them talked for a long time before the call finally ended. Faye was fuming by then. It turned out that Timothy had indeed gotten to the bottom of things. Shelby was just some hostess at a bar. Who she actually was not even worth looking into. After growing suspicious of her, Timothy quickly looked up who she really was. Faced with the truth, Shelby had no choice but to admit that she had done this because her manager, Terence Lawson, had ordered her to do so. With that, Timothy promptly arrested Terence, who revealed that Miranda Webster of the Willow family had been behind all of that. Just then, Miranda had already been arrested for attempting to frame someone for sexual assault. Timothy had called Faye to tell her that Wilbur's charge had been dropped, and she was to come to the police station to fill out the paperwork. Faye was furious when she found out. Wilbur had been willing to go easy on the Willows, only for them to hound him after that. It was really too much. Faye had made up her mind to teach the Willows a bit of a lesson, and she wasn't going to tell Wilbur about it. Following that, she called her secretary.
Buy all Willow Corp's internal shares in secret. Take as much as you can. Got it, Miss Eves?
Her secretary said. Faye nodded and said,
Pay close attention to their every move. I want to take them down completely.
Her secretary replied.
Right. Willow Corp has been in hot water since what happened to them last time. A lot of banks are chasing them to pay off their debts.
Faye's eyes lit up at once.
All right. Get me in touch with the bank's reps in charge of this. I'd like a word with them. On it.
Evening came by quickly. Wilbur finished meditating and opened his eyes. The thought of what happened last night made him shake his head. Faye was really impossible to resist. It was making his life really hard. Had it been any other man, they would have succumbed to her charms a long time ago. Just then, Wilbur's phone rang.